Hi, I received a question from a physical therapist asking if there were any specific yoga poses that would help with ankylosing spondylitis. And yes, I do have some poses that I will share with you today. But first, I would just like to emphasize that I don't really like to promote the concept of yoga for the condition, like yoga for ankylosing spondylitis or yoga for arthritis, yoga for back pain, yoga for neck pain, yoga for incontinence, because what that does is it's falling into that paradigm that we're trying to get away from in our healthcare system, which is treating the condition instead of the entire person. So I would rather say yoga for Ted, yoga for Michelle, yoga for Matt, and not yoga for ankylosing spondylitis. Now, there are definitely some commonalities within each condition, particularly when you look at different ways people present, whether it's physically or mentally, emotionally. So then you can say, hey, these poses or breathing techniques or meditation techniques are really great for this specific population. But again, you're just looking at the condition and not the person. So keep that in mind, please. I would like to explain what ankylosing spondylitis is, or AS as it's known. So it is an arthritic condition. Spondylitis means inflammation of the joints of the spine, and ankylosing means to fuse. So if you think of it as, and this is a very crude explanation, but think of it as the joints in the spine chronically inflamed or irritated, and the body sees that as not a good thing and it wants to help, so it lays down more bone, excess bone, and the spine can stiffen and eventually fuse. So people with AS do tend to have that rounded, slouched, kyphotic posture with the chin poke. Typically, or can potentially present with shoulder pain, spinal pain, pain in SI joints, hips, knees, and ankles. And yes, yoga can help address many of these issues that are associated with AS, whether it's for pain management or spinal alignment or mobility or other joint issues, mental, emotional health. This video today that I have for you is just a few poses that help with some postural alignment and mobility and using the breath for rib expansion and mobility. So if you do have AS, please seek guidance and clearance from your healthcare professional, whether it's your physical therapist, rheumatologist, or whoever you're seeing, just to make sure that everything in here is safe and appropriate for you. Maybe you can show them the video and go through it with them. Clinicians, maybe you get some ideas in here for your clients. And those of you that just maybe want to have a look at some ideas that are great for posture, for opening up through the ribs and the spine. So, okay, have fun.
And Dwayne's going to be our model today for the poses. So just tell us a little bit about yourself, Dwayne.
I was diagnosed with ankylosing spondylitis about 3 years ago. For the last 2.5 years I've been doing yoga, and I found it to greatly improve my flexibility. Starting out, I was not flexible at all. I really noticed in my lower back and the flexibility back this way. For some of the activities I used to do, I got to be the point I couldn't do them anymore. When I first started the yoga, I couldn't, lay on my stomach. I couldn't lift up off the floor hardly at all. Now, as you can see, I'll be able to lift up a lot better and without the strain and stress of trying to do it.
And any other aspects of yoga that's helped you?
I found it helps greatly with stress. I can come to yoga, I can relax. It gives me a point in time where nothing is bothering me. I don't have to worry about cell phones or anything like that. It's just relaxing. And like I say, stress level it helps a lot with that. I think the breathing and the meditation helps probably some of the most with it, but with the poses and being able to, getting back to more flexibility, it gives you relaxation just with that, and lowers the stress of not feeling, I can't do things as much as I used to, and it gives you that back now that you can start to do that.
And more acceptance almost, it sounds like it.
Yes,
Yeah,
for sure.
yeah.
For sure.
Okay, so last question. Are you pain-free?
I wouldn't say I'm pain-free, but it helps me manage it a lot better. Going outside the class, I can take the poses I've learned and apply them to when things are starting to hurt. I can relax things both through the mental and through the poses themselves through stretching.
So the first exercise is the postural wall slides. So you can stand with your back up against the wall, your feet a little bit away, you can see the distance there, knees soft so they're not hyperextended, and just resting up against the wall. Now, standing as tall as you can, but what people will do is, when I say, okay, stand up nice and tall and feel your good posture, is they will, you can take your head back there, Dwayne, is they will do that. And they'll try to get their head to the wall. So you can see that is not the alignment we want. You can see how the neck is too extended. That can cause a lot of issues in the neck, joints and muscles and tightness and pain. So we want the head to be in line with the rest of the spine. So Dwayne's going to just correct it there. Good. And then just visualizing and imagining the collarbones widening and just feeling nice and open. Maybe palms can even face front. And then finding your breath in this position. It's all about the breath. So you can practice Ujjayi breathing, or also we can call it thoracodiaphragmatic breath or lateral costal expansion. So as you breathe in, you feel your ribs expand in all directions, forward, side, even into the back, like an inflating balloon. So you're just feeling as you inhale, you feel those ribs expand, nice. And there's not a lot of movement in the neck and those muscles up in the shoulders. And you can see his head's starting to tilt back a bit, so I'm going to ask Dwayne, just bring it down. There you go, nice. And find that nice, long, slow, deep breath where those ribs expand out to the sides, forward and back, and then down. And then let's take your arms straight out to the side. You can keep your elbows straight for this one. And as you inhale, take the arms up like you're doing a snow angel. So inhaling, so this is with the breath, and try to keep the arms to the wall as best as you can. And that's about as far as he goes. Hey, Dwayne? Yep. Against the wall. And then exhale back down. So soften the knees, watching you're not hyperextending those knees. Watch the position of the head. Try it again with your breath. Inhale, ribs expand, open up, feel that wall behind you. Just do the best you can, and then exhale back down. Lying on your belly is a really nice position. Your hips are extended. Your spine is actually extending a little bit. And you get to just rest and breathe. So in this position, Dwayne has his forehead down on his hands, which is nice. His neck is in a nice neutral position. And just focusing on where the breath, or how the breath is moving your body. You can feel it into the low back. You can feel how perhaps the breath is in the ribs. And then I'll ask you to take a deeper breath like we did when we were standing, or when you were standing at the wall, and just feel again those ribs widen and expand. And perhaps you might feel them now, the breath go more into the back body, so you can feel the breath more into the back ribs. So a really nice breathing exercise on your belly to feel the movement a little more in the back ribs and perhaps in to the spine. How does that feel, Dwayne?
Good.
Do you feel different movement in the ribs and in the spine than you did when you were standing against the wall?
Yes, yeah. Good moves easier.
So the next one we call Sphinx pose, or prone elbow support in physiotherapy. So you can come up onto your elbows, bring your elbows in line with the shoulders, or they might be a little more in front, that's fine, yep. And all that I would like you to do here, first, of course, is just breathe and watch your breath. And gently feel like there is a string on your breastbone in the front, and that string is pulling you forward. Now you noticed, I don't know if you saw that, but what Dwayne did, as soon as I said that, he lifted his neck. Did you feel that, Dwayne? He looked up.
Yeah.
So see how his neck is really extended there? See how that's in the neck? Because the body's gonna move in the path of least resistance. So that's in the neck because his spine is stiff. So, Dwayne, go ahead and take that neck out of it. Now look at the angle, the ears, they're much straighter. Very nice. So now just breathe and again feel that ujjayi breath or that thoracodiaphragmatic breath or lateral, costal expansion, whatever fancy word you want to use, but just feel the breath in the ribs, the sides, the back, the chest, and bursting the chest or that breastbone through the shoulders. You don't actually have to do anything, but just visualize and feel. So you can actually feel like your hands are doing this, like they're pulling in. So nice and wide fingers, feel that connection. And then grounding down through the hands, the tops of the feet, relax the buttocks. And then you pull that chest through. The crown of the head is lifting. So again, we're not doing that. We're just isolating that chest through. And then when you breathe, that can help the mobility and the expansion as well. And if you have the mobility, you can try this one. Your arms stretched out in front of you with your forehead on the mat. And try lifting your opposite arm and leg. And try with an inhalation. See how that feels. So inhaling through the ribs, good, nice. And then exhale, release down. And remember, it doesn't matter how high you go. We're not going for height. Just float the opposite arm and leg. You can switch sides now. Inhale. It's more about length. Feel like someone's pulling your arm and leg apart. And then exhale down. How does that feel?
Good.
Okay, try that again. Inhale, other side. And least amount of effort in the shoulders, the jaw. Relax what you don't need to do this. And then release. Okay, and then last time on the other side, use the breath. Inhaling. And then exhaling as you come down. Okay, now I want you to try to switch the breath. So take a breath in, and then when you exhale, lift the arm and leg. Take a breath in there as you hold. Lengthen the arm and leg away from each other. And then exhale down. Good. Take a breath in when you're ready. Exhale. Lift the other side. Yeah. Take a breath in and lengthen a little bit more. Feel the ribs expand. Not into the neck or jaw. And exhale down. Which one felt better? Or do you have any comments about one versus the other?
It's easier on the exhale.
To lift?
Yeah.
Okay, and that could be because when Dwayne exhales, he's been doing some transverse abdominis work, so maybe when he exhales, that core's engaged, right, and stabilizing the trunk, and then the arm and leg could lift. So interesting, no right or wrong, but just interesting. So we've got Dwayne on his hands and knees now. We put a blanket roll underneath the ankles. His ankles were a little stiff, so that supports the feet, makes it feel better, right, Dwayne?
Yeah.
Okay, so you can see his back is rounded a little bit. And you can see how his neck is extended up. So what I'm going to ask you to do is see if you can flatten out your back, more like a tabletop. And then bring your head down, that chin down. Good. And then now just find your breath. And almost feel like you're gliding your shoulder blades down towards your low back. Yeah, does that make sense?
Yep.
Yeah, that's nice. And just like in that Sphinx position, see if you can burst that chest, like the breastbone, through the shoulder. So there's a string on your breastbone. Yeah, and you're bursting it through. And this time he kept his chin down nicely, so that's good. And then you just find that ujjayi breath, long, slow, deep inhalations where the ribs expand out to both sides, forward and back. So it's really a breathing exercise. He's working the muscles around the shoulder blades so that he doesn't sink down. That looks great. So his shoulder blades are positioned nicely. So great for posture. And then you can try lifting your opposite arm and leg if you're not too tired. If you need a break, just let me know. Reaching, yeah, good. Look at that nice, strong supporting arm. Just soften the left elbow. Make sure it's not hyperextended. Good. And then release back down. Okay, how's the neck feeling? Just bobble the head a little bit. Shake, yeah, there you go. And then try the other side, lifting on an inhalation or exhalation. See what feels better. Feel the strength in your right shoulder blade that's holding you there. Good. And then release down. So that's a nice one to do too. Great for posture. So Dwayne is now on his back, and you can see the position of his neck. So we don't want it like that. Hopefully now you can tell how it's too extended, and that's because the thoracic spine, the mid-back's a little stiff and tight, so then the neck goes down. So I put a few blanket folds underneath, and as you can see, that neck is much more aligned. And we can still work on opening the chest and the thoracic spine. So take your arms, Dwayne, straight out beside you, shoulder height with the palms to the sky. Nice, so there's nice opening there. And then just let your knees fall to one side. So it's getting some range of motion in the lumbar spine, and then as the knees go over to the other side, one knee at a time, and then all the way over. So, we do this in physical therapy as well, not just yoga, but the yoga part we use the breath. So you're going to inhale as the top knee comes up, exhale, the other knee comes over to the other side. Good. Nice. So finding that breath again. So inhaling, the ribs expand, one leg comes up. So you want to try to open up through the hips as much as you can. Good. All the way over. So trying that again, just the top leg. So don't worry about lifting that right one quite yet. So just the top one. Yeah, then the right one can come over. So there's some opening in the hips. Do you see the difference there? Yeah. So he's following the pace of his breath. So you don't just move and breathe, you actually breathe and move. So you let the pace of your breath dictate the pace of your movement. And how is that feeling? Good. And he feels the collarbones, visualizing the collarbones growing out to the side. Nice opening through the chest. Great exercise. Okay, so we're going to go into a modified revolving extended side angle. So turn to your left. We have some props. Obviously, he's in a chair. We've got a nice soft foam block under the knee to keep his pelvis level, and we put that blanket roll under the ankle again because the ankles is stiff. And yeah, he's already rotating, so he's got his right hand on the outer thigh and the left hand on the back of the chair, and nice and tall. And again, as you lift up tall, it's through that core, the spine, the breastbone lifts, but not the neck. So just dropping that chin down actually looks pretty good. Finding your breath. Just inhaling, feeling the ribs again widen out to both sides, forward, back. Maybe bobble the head a little bit so that there's no tension. And then let's see if you can bring your left arm, your back arm, on your hip now. Nice. And again, finding your breath, turning your head just as far as it feels comfortable, no straining. Just breathing, letting go what doesn't serve you in this pose. Another nice breath in, and as you exhale, maybe see if you can allow yourself to let go of what's holding you from turning a little further without forcing.
The next posture, we're going to have Dwayne lie on this blanket. It is, we call it an accordion fold. So just like how an accordion would naturally fold, sort of flip-flopping back and forth. This is going to go on the lengthwise on your mat. And then I'm going to come lie down with this lengthwise along the spine. And you can see just come up a little bit more so the head is just off this. I just want them to see, again, that head position, which we don't want. So we have another blanket fold, we have a foam block, and I think that looks better. Yeah, so nice and aligned. And how does that feel for you?
Good.
Okay, so, and how about the chest here? Do you feel opened?
Yes.
So that, just try that with a little something under the spine. It's quite nice, as long as it's not uncomfortable with your in your shoulders. Palms can rest up, so you can take your hands away from your body a little bit. Yeah, a little bit more if it's comfortable. And you just feel that nice opening. And relax your neck and your jaw. And we're going to, this is Supta Baddha Konasana, or reclined cobblers. So the soles of the feet together. And then you just let those legs, those knees open. And we want support for the hips. So is this, does this feel like it's supporting you enough? Or do you feel like you're holding a little bit?
No, I can support.
So we could always prop this up. We could put, another layer of a blanket or foam block. And Dwayne just rests here and relaxes and breathes, and nice chest opener. Feels good? He said yes.
Very good.
And another option that will help your the level of your head be elevated is if you have a couple blocks and a bolster. This is quite nice. You can set the blocks up lengthwise here, and then on its short edge here, and then you can put the bolster on top of that, and then Dwayne, you can come and lie on that and see how this feels. And then again, the head, we need to get that position, so we'll try a couple blankets here. Okay, bringing that chin, there you go. How does that feel?
Feels good.
And then again, palms up, so it's just a really nice passive restorative pose, very supported, and we can bring the legs. This one, we could do the Supta Baddha Konasana, or the reclined cobblers, or just bring a bolster underneath the thighs, and then just relaxing. And if you feel any tension in the low back, we can just raise the legs up by maybe putting another bolster or some blankets. How does that feel?
Feels good.
Yeah, do you feel like a nice opening in here?
Yeah, it opens up nicely.
Good. And then maybe I would just bring that chin down and then release. Good. So I may work a little bit more on that head position, but so that's it. So would you recommend yoga for people with ankylosing spondylitis?
I would most definitely recommend it to anybody with ankylosing spondylitis and anybody in general. It's a great thing to help improve your life.
Main reason why? Top two reasons why you would recommend it for either AS or in general. Your two top favorites.
Pain management and flexibility.
For more information on what I do and how I do it and articles that I write, please visit my website at PhysioYoga.ca, and that will also tell you where I'm at, offering workshops and classes and speaking at conferences and teacher trainings. And on Twitter and Instagram, you can follow me at Prosco Yoga. On Facebook, you can like my page, Prosco Physio Yoga Therapy, and I like to post some really interesting articles and videos of other resources and people that I respect.